In 2001, a stranger posted online. He said he wasn't from this year. He said he could prove it. Then, weeks later, some of what he said came true. Imagine finding an old forum thread from over 20 years ago. The replies have stopped. The site barely loads. But the first post is still there. A user, claiming to be a soldier from the future, sent back on a mission. He gives a date, a warning, a prediction. You check the date against what actually happened. Your stomach drops. This is one of the strangest stories the early internet ever produced. A single, anonymous account. No face, no name, no proof except words on a screen. And yet, for months, thousands of strangers followed every post, waiting, arguing, believing. Because some of what this account said before it happened, happened. The account first appeared on a small internet forum in the early 2000s. At first, it was just answering random questions. Then someone asked the account to prove its claims. So it made a prediction, specific, testable, dated weeks in advance. The forum waited. When the date arrived, something happened that matched. Not perfectly, not undeniably, but close enough that the skeptics went quiet and the believers got louder. The account kept posting. Detailed answers about world events, technology, politics. Always vague enough to argue about, always specific enough to unsettle. People started archiving every post, worried it might vanish. They were right to worry, because whoever was behind the account clearly knew something the rest of the forum didn't, even if nobody could agree on what that something was. Then came the strangest post of all. The account gave a date for its own departure. It said it wouldn't be back after that day. And when that day came, it wasn't. No goodbye, no explanation, just silence. The forum exploded with theories. Some said it was an elaborate hoax built by someone testing how far a story could spread before anyone demanded real proof. Some said the account belonged to an insider, using the anonymity of the forum to leak things they weren't supposed to say out loud. And a small, stubborn group refused to believe it was fake at all. They pointed to the details that lined up, the dates that landed close, the tone that never broke character, not once, across months of posts. Whoever it was, they never slipped. Not one contradiction, not one moment where the mask came off. Years later, someone claiming to be a family member posted a short message. They said the account was a project, a story someone built carefully, over time. They said the person behind it never expected it to matter to so many strangers. Some people accepted that. Others didn't. Because by then, the account didn't feel like a hoax anymore. It felt like a character who'd outgrown the person who wrote it. Then, over a decade later, a new account appeared. Same writing style, same strange confidence. It posted one message, referencing details only the original account would have known. Then it deleted itself within the hour. Nobody has ever confirmed who made that second post. It could have been the same person, checking in. It could have been someone who'd studied every archived word closely enough to imitate them perfectly. Or it could have been something the original forum members warned each other about for years, that some stories don't end when their author walks away. They end when the story stops finding new people to believe it. And this one still hasn't. Stories like this exist all over the internet's early history. Anonymous accounts that said something impossible, backed it up just enough to keep people arguing, and vanished before anyone could pin them down. Most of them fade. Forgotten threads on forums nobody visits anymore. But a few stay alive because somewhere someone is still checking the dates, still rereading the old posts, still wondering what they'd have believed if they'd been there when it was happening in real time. Maybe the truth doesn't matter as much as we think it does. Maybe what kept people watching wasn't proof. It was the possibility. The idea that somewhere, someone out there knew something the rest of us didn't, and chose, for a little while, to let us in on it. The account never came back to explain itself. Maybe it never needed to, because the internet doesn't need certainty to keep a mystery alive. It just needs one person willing to believe, and one story good enough that deleting it only made it stronger.